Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so it's recorded.
Yeah.
Right? So now that I have opened up my Sublime, okay, now I would drag the folder I created. That is Deborah. Onto Sublime, that is all. Just drag it on top of it. And I'll go to the left side. You should see Deborah opened. And Deborah folder. Can you also do Deborah folder on the left side?
Yes. Yes.
Let me make it big. Maybe you can see it bigger. That is it there. So Deborah folder. Now I will create my first file. And the first file will be the index file. So once I right click and then I will just say save. And then type index.html. All right. Then save. Now, because I know I'll be doing or working with quite a lot of things, I'll just go ahead and create the folder for my images. So images folder. I'll do that for CSS. Then I will do that for JavaScript, right? So if, as you can see here, you can see that we have the mother folder, Deborah, and we have CSS, images, JavaScript, and then we have the index file. Now, because I'll be dealing with the CSS file and JavaScript, I'll just go in right click, okay, on the CSS folder and click on a new file. So you see that it has brought me here. Then I'll just save. So I'm saving it as style.css. Style.css. This is the CSS file. This file will contain, so you see that when I go down there, you can see that the file has been created. Now I'll go into the JavaScript. Right click, file, then save. And I'll call this script.js. Right? And I save. Now, because I'll be making use of a couple of images, let me come in here and borrow this image. And the exams too, I'll give you images. I'll keep them on the desktop. So you will find a way to put them in your work. Okay. So that said, then I would go into the folder I created, Deborah, images. Then I will drop the file in here. So the only thing I'll get to know is I need to know the name of the file and the extension of the file. This is the extension of the file. It's JPG. You can see it. The name of the file and the extension of the file. This is what will enable you be able to upload it onto your site. Once I'm done here, I can just close out of this and now go back into my file. So now I will come to the HTML file. This is where I want to start off. Okay, so now I can bring this one back. You now know. Let me close this, close this, close this, close this. close this. Let me close this other one so that okay. The only one open now is what? Deborah. And I'm in the file index.html. So once I have done this, then the work becomes easy for me. Let me make it large a bit so that you can see it better. All right, I think it's big enough. At this point, just go ahead and create Deborah's web page. Okay. Right. Now, I said I'll be doing the external linkages for CSS as well as JavaScript. So what can we do? Let us set the page or set the stage for the others to be able to come in. So I'm going to create an HTML. Okay, since we are using CSS, we can talk about div. Okay, div. So we would create a div. Now this div is going to be the foundational div. This will contain all the other divs. So since it's going to be the container, we'll call this ID container. All right, ID container. It's going to contain all the content of our divs. Then I will give it a banner, right? So this div, we'll call it the banner div. Okay, let me do this. Okay, let me leave it at this. So what I can do here, I'll create the 4 sessions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This will be for the banner. This will be for the menu. This will be for the content area. And then this will be for the footer. So the content area, we have 2. We have the content area itself and the sidebar. Then I have to increase it for the last div. Last div. Now this last div will be for the footer. All right. So here we'll have it as let's just type in here banner. All right. Here we'll call this menu. We'll call this content area. We'll call this sidebar. Then we'll call this footer. All right. But since we have done it this way, there is little sense in it. Let's open up our browser and see what has happened. Okay, so we will save it and now open up our browser. So open in browser. Let's see the effect. So you see that we have done the work, but you can see that this is where they are all hiding. You see the banner, menu, content area, sidebar, footer. Look at where they are all hiding. Are you okay? So now what we have to do is to make sure we now put flesh to it. To put flesh, we have to identify each of the divs by names. So we say we use an ID. This ID, we'll call this banner. Okay. We come here. We will give this an ID, menu. We come here, we give this ID. All right.
The thing just the break.
Content dash area. It's breaking there. ID.
You mute your this thing.
ID sidebar. sidebar. Then footer, we just call it footer. All right. So now, these divs, these are the most important divs. These divs are what I will call in the CSS and give them the flesh, or in other words, the attributes. Excuse me.
Hello? Hello,
I
sir.
am here. I'll be with you, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I had an urgent call, so I needed to attend to it. I'm very sorry. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. But you are in touch. You have seen what is going on so far, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So now at this point, having done the divs for the HTML component, we make sure we save it. Now the next line of action is to go into the CSS file and call these individual IDs we have created here. Now this is what we are actually going to link. So now what's the linking? Inside the head tag, I've already created the file called CSS, style.css inside the folder. So all I will do is I will type in the link. Now the advantage is if you are using Sublime Text, it should be easy for you. Okay. So once you click on it, it auto-completes the work for you. So you don't have to bother so much about it. All right. That is what I'll make sure you use on the exam day. You use Sublime Text, which will do the auto-completion. Yours is not to memorize all these things in your head. All right. So it points you to the href. That is where to reference the file. So you just type in the CSS / style.css. That's it. That's all that you need to do here. So those of you complaining of how to link it to the file, this is it. We are done. I have just linked it just by using this code. You connect it to the href. We already have this CSS folder. That is it over here. You can see it. Are you watching my cursor? This file, this folder,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
is what we have created here. Now, this style.css is what I have here. Okay. So once I have done that, I save. Now I will go into.
I just came back.
I'll now go into the sheet, the style sheet. Now the style sheet, all our reference is the ID, and the mark for an ID is a hashtag. So here we have container. Then I open my curly brackets. This is the container. And if you want to be sure as to what it is, when we come into the HTML, where that the ID here is what is container. Can you see it? So where is Mr. Ose, the fireman? Mr. Ose, fireman. Mr. Ose, fireman. Mr. Ose is not online.
It's gone.
Xavier, are you there? Xavier, are you there?
Like they are having a network.
So who is there right now? Who is talking to me? Justice.
This is Daniel.
Please, Deborah is also.
Daniel.
Okay. Deborah, I asked of you. Since you were what? You were in church?
Oh, no, please.
All right. So at this point, I'm going to give you, we are doing a web page for you. So it's your name that is there. Make sure you respond to all my calls. When I see anything and I say, have you heard? You indicate whether you have heard or not. Are we okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. So that I get a feedback from you. All right. So at this point, I will just try. I came here because I wanted to show you that this is the container. The container we are trying to work on in the CSS. This is it, the container. Okay. Okay, so we save. Now let's give it the attributes. We say we want to give it a width of 900 pixels, then a height of 700 pixels. All right. So at this point, we want to give it a background color. Okay, a background color. Let's give it red. Right? Then we save. So once we save it, we can now go into the HTML, then view it in the browser. So you see that we now have this container showing, and you can see that it is containing the banner, the menu, content area, sidebar, and footer.
Yes,
So
sir.
now at this point, the recording might go off, the editing might go off anytime soon. When it goes off, I'll reconnect again. Okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. So now at this point, we can see that the container is doing its work. This is the container. The red background you are seeing here.